Welcome back. It's D-Day for the Narendra Modi-led NDA today, as the swearing-in ceremony will take place at 7:15 p.m. And what were called mere murmurs, it's now turning out to be a confirmation of sorts, with several top leaders of the BJP and its allies, part of the NDA, turning up at the Prime Minister's residence a little while earlier for a tea program. All of them are going to be taking oath alongside the Prime Minister at 7:15 p.m. It's a big day for the Modi-led NDA government as we see the NDA take formal shape today.
(1962) के बाद पहली बार कोई सरकार अपने 2 कार्यकाल पूरे करने के बाद तीसरी बार वापस आई है।
So yes, the focus is on Narendra Modi, who's all set to take oath as the Prime Minister of India for a 3rd consecutive time. And before the swearing-in, we've seen how he visited Rajghat. He paid tributes to Mahatma Gandhi, also paid homage to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee at Sadaiv Atal. Also paid tributes to several bravehearts at the National War Memorial. The new NDA cabinet swearing-in ceremony, like I said, is scheduled to take place today at Rashtrapati Bhavan amid multi-layered security, and most of the new joinees of Modi 3.0 cabinet, including Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, have already received calls. At least 50 of them have received calls, and this of course includes all of the allies as well that have played a significant role in shaping up the NDA as it stands today. According to sources, over a dozen BJP MPs have been named in the Council of Ministers list, and another dozen are from the allies. As far as the foreign dignitaries are concerned, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Seychelles Vice President Ahmed Afif have all arrived in India to attend the swearing-in ceremony. Apart from this, Sri Lankan President is also on the Indian soil as we speak. The event is expected to witness the presence of leaders from all of these nations: Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal, Mauritius, as part of India's neighbourhood first policy. So that said, as we keep our sharp focus on who all are going to be in attendance for the oath-taking ceremony, we've also been breaking down details on who are likely to make it to the cabinet, who are going to be part of Modi 3.0. Let me quickly introduce my colleagues who've been keeping us ahead on the non-stop political updates trickling in this morning. Arunima is with us once again. We also have Payal live with us. Pallavi continues to stay on with us. Arun Dhanta also live with us from outside the Prime Minister's residence, along with Aman, who's live with us from the BJP office. To quickly begin with Payal, who's been at the Prime Minister's residence for a while now, we saw a host of top BJP leaders, JDU leaders, the 2 TDP leaders who are also going to be making it to Modi 3.0. They're going to be in the cabinet of Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led NDA. Apart from all the smaller allies, we've seen all of them meet at the Prime Minister's residence for the tea program. I believe all of them are out, and all eyes are now going to be, at the swearing-in ceremony, for which all of them are going to be preparing now. Payal, over to you for the latest. First up, give us an overview of what you've witnessed the last few minutes.
Well, in the last few minutes, we can see cars coming in and coming out of the local and marked residence of the Prime Minister. This has been a ceremonious tea party which takes place every time there is a cabinet formation or cabinet reshuffle or cabinet rejig, as we may call it. But this time around also you will see a lot of blend of new faces and old faces as well. That's something which Narendra Modi seems to be doing very, very well as far as formation of his cabinets is concerned. And just to tell our viewers that these names have not come out of thin air. Just before they win, the BJP leaders were given a form in terms of filling up the details in terms of what the constituencies are, how many booths come under that, how many votes were they able to secure last time around, how many votes did they fail to get, and what was the margin of the win, what has been their background, what has been their educational background, what has been the political background, if at all there are any cases against them. So all of these studies has been taken into details, and that form was submitted to the BJP headquarters. Of course, a lot of work has gone behind the background to actually come up with the names as well. Of course, there are big names like Nitin Gadkari, Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, all performing ministers. Hardeep Singh Puri, who handled the entire central vista crisis very, very well. Ashwini Vaishnav has been holding 2 or 3 important portfolios, in particular the portfolio of IT Ministry, which has in fact been discussed all over the world, with India passing its data protection bill, something that the whole world wants to duplicate as well. So that's there, and of course you have performing ministers also who are going to be coming up in the new term as well, whether it's Rashtra Khatse, who's worked a long time in rural Maharashtra, whether it is of course going to be Bandi Sanjay, remember, who was a street fighter as far as BJP's push in Telangana is concerned. You also have many other names which have been doing the rounds as well. So those have also been rewarded. The BJP making a blend really possible, giving a lot of face to the regions are really concerned. I haven't seen, but I do understand that L. Murugan is also part of this meeting as well. I haven't seen him come and go. But remember, he was one of the only people from the last cabinet who in fact was given a full 6-year term, in the Rajya Sabha as well. He's a Dalit phrase from Tamil Nadu. He's somebody who was not able to win, but he gave a tough fight as far as A. Raja's constituency is concerned. The Prime Minister has been extremely fond of him and the way he conducts himself. We'll have to just wait and see what really happens, because there are a few faces who could be going into the organization as well. There are several leaders from the northeast region also who are expecting to get a berth, but they could also be fitted in somewhere or the other, because the party has a lot of focus on the upcoming elections and also on the elections in the times to come.
Okay, we've managed to access about 50 names, most of whom were seen at the Prime Minister's official residence for the tea program. Aman, let's try and decode these names. There are clear signs of continuity. There are also signs that those who've performed in Lok Sabha elections are being given a clear shot. And there are also signs that the BJP is keeping in mind several other factors, caste equations, caste balance, all of that is being kept in mind. What happens to women representation? We've seen a few women leaders also making it to the Prime Minister's residence earlier. How much of a representation, though, we're going to see, that also remains to be seen, whether or not we'll see an increase of women MPs in Lok Sabha. That's one question. Apart from this, we've been trying to do a little analysis. As was being speculated, especially by the opposition, now the BJP will have to give up on, so many portfolios. It will have to accommodate its allies and give them a bigger number. We're not seeing that really transpire in terms of number, isn't it? With 240 seats, the BJP is still holding key portfolios, and the number is also with the BJP as per their performance in Lok Sabha.
Well, yes, Krishnan, as far as I can see, about 52-53 names we have now in total, and about 41 to 42 names are from the BJP. So clearly 80% nearly of all Council of Ministers will be of BJP, from the BJP. So it's very, very clear that the BJP has the lion's share in the Union Council of Ministers so far, and rightly so, because BJP at 240 seats is miles ahead of the TDP at 16, or the JDU at 12 seats, or Eknath Shinde's party with 7, LJP at 5, or the other smaller parties with 2 or 1 seats apiece. So clearly the BJP is very, very clear, and been clear from day one that the Council of Ministers will have about 12 to 15 berths for the allies, but not more than that, and right now the figure has stopped at 12 unless there is a further expansion in the days to come. Other message I'm seeing in this cabinet, this Council of Ministers, as you correctly say, the performers being rewarded. So if there is a Nitin Gadkari, he is back. If there is Nirmala Sitharaman, she is back. Ashwini Vaishnav, Piyush Goyal, Mansukh Mandavia, Arjun Singh Meghwal, all these performers, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Prahlad Joshi, S. Jaishankar, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, top it all, Mr. Amit Shah, the Home Minister of the country. The core of the party, the core of, I would say, of the government is back in charge again in Modi 3.0. There is a lot of continuity from the last time. So as also because the Modi 2.0, Modi 3.0 is an exercise in continuity. Many government programs which are continuing, and Mr. Modi has already spoken about this 100-day plan, to roll out as soon as he takes oath. So all these plans, it is essential to keep the ministries unruffled to a large extent, so that the continuity is maintained between the bureaucracy and the women faces you were asking me. Of course, Shobha Karanjale is there, and there are at least 6 to 7 women faces I can see right now in this list. More than that, in fact, 8 to 9 women faces in the list so far. So healthy representation to women. Out of 54, maybe around 15 to 20% will be women representation in the Union Council.
Okay, all right. Stay on with us. Let me quickly take in a word from Arun as well, because we see a lot of movement at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. That's where the tea program took place just a short while ago. What are these visuals telling us, Arun?
Well, that's right. These visuals that you see on your screen are coming straight from the 7 LKM, and the meeting is over. The tea meeting is over, which lasted almost for an hour, and slowly all these members who are going to be inducted in the Union Council of Ministers have been living, the residents of PM Narendra Modi. You can see on that side, and in fact, we are also getting some information from inside that what Prime Minister, told all the members that first of all he congratulated all of them that they all are going to be inducted in the Council of Ministers today, that they are taking oath, and secondly also of course he told them that we need to continue with the agenda of the previous, the last government of Narendra Modi of Viksit Bharat, to make a country Viksit by 2047, and also all the developmental works which were going on in the last government will continue in this government also. So these are the messages which Prime Minister Modi gave to all those MPs who are present, who will be inducting in the Union Council of Ministers. So I think Prime Minister Modi once again talked about the 100 days agendas, that how his team needs to work on that 100 days agenda, whether it is developmental programs or the initiatives which requires for the welfare of the country. All these things will be done in 100 days. Remember, in the last cabinet which Prime Minister Modi chaired a few weeks back,
yes,
he also talked about the 100 days agendas planning, and in fact the bureaucrats were told to prepare the list of issues or the agendas which are left, which can be taken forward or which are stuck in the middle. So
that
I think
said,
this,
Arun, the BJP anyway has been laying emphasis on the fact that this is really not about the next 5 years of governance. It's keeping in mind the 2047 picture of Viksit Bharat. But let's quickly sum up for you all that we've managed to access and zero in on in terms of inside scoop on the cabinet. Like I said, the TDP in all likelihood is going to get one cabinet and one MOS post. As for the JDU, the next big ally contributing significantly to the coming together of the NDA, is going to get one cabinet and one MOS, just like the TDP. So it's going to be an equal share both for the TDP and the JDU. Jan Sena is not going to be part of the cabinet. There were a lot of speculations, though that doesn't look like a reality as of today. Shiv Sena to get one berth each. We also saw Eknath Shinde share the dais with the Prime Minister when he was addressing all of those alliance leaders. And no post for the NCP. That's the big takeaway. No post for the NCP. NCP, remember, one of the 4 Lok Sabha seats it contested in Maharashtra, and that's why alliance accommodation also becomes key, and that's what the BJP has decided. But to talk about more breaking news coming in, the Prime Minister sent out another message. He says the unfinished work will be finished. You put into place 100 days plan, don't work under pressure of anyone. Perhaps a word being sent out to the Karyakartas. The Prime Minister also asking the MPs to implement a 100-day plan. My colleague was just talking us through the details of the same. It's a 100-day plan. As of now, all big leaders, remember, have left 7 Lok Kalyan Marg already, and that was the Prime Minister's big message. Payal, the Prime Minister speaks of the unfinished business. He says that's going to be the focus of the NDA combined, and has now said that the focus must be on the next 100 days to begin with.
Well, before Prime Minister Narendra Modi wound up his point to government, also he had already given a task to all his ministers saying come up with a 100-day plan. It does not matter with which of you are in power and which of you don't come back to power in the cabinet. We have to work for the cause of the people. One thing which consistently the Prime Minister has been saying is this, that there is no need for anybody to get under any pressure from anyone, be it bureaucrats or anybody else. Don't work under any pressure. And the golden mantra is that whatever you start, you end. If you in fact lay the foundation stone for a project, you must make sure that you finish it. That's something which the Prime Minister has been saying. And just now the Prime Minister's office has in fact released the videos from the inside of the meeting that's there for our viewers to really see. The Prime Minister means business from day one. He has already assured the country that his government will work from day one and they will not waste any time in the service of mankind, in the service of the great nation Bharat. The Prime Minister once again congratulated the ministers who are going to be taking oath this evening, also saying that each one of them must consider themselves very lucky that they've been allowed by the people to in fact come back and control and beg your pardon, work for the cause of the country.
Okay, all right. So the next 100 days going to be very, very critical, and the Prime Minister set the task, cut the task out for the MPs. That's his message to all of them. He did have a quick interaction, remember, over tea with some of those who are also going to be making it to the cabinet, and all of them were in attendance a little while earlier at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg as well. Pallavi, to quickly come to you. Now, remember, every time we talk about the BJP strategy, one is also looking at, you know, whether it's going to be a 100-day plan, whether it's going to be Viksit Bharat by 2047. The Prime Minister always sets these targets, and the opposition, interestingly, tries to use it to its advantage and turns it around and gives a counter slogan to it.
See, I think there are a couple of messages I think the Prime Minister has certainly given to the opposition parties, and he's going to be confronting them a lot when the new Parliament session meets. See, we are looking at those first pictures, I guess, which are coming out of Team Prime Minister, Team Modi 3.0, and we've been talking about the continuity and the change and the kind of a regional and caste balances. But just to talk beyond that, because now we've been talking about the kind of faces, what is it going to be the task which is going to cut out for them? I think the Prime Minister, as an astute politician, does understand that, you know, he cannot let it go the UPA 2 way. UPA 2 also began on a very rocky wicket. It got worse for them because at some point of time it led to a policy paralysis. It without a perception that Dr. Manmohan Singh may have meant well, but he was always constantly buckling under allied pressure. I think the Prime Minister's messaging, even in choosing his team, is very clear. It's going to be hands-on. It's going to be mostly BJP, those faces which you've been seeing in the last 10 years carrying on the idea of Viksit Bharat will continue to finish that agenda. I remember on multiple platforms, the PM, while addressing the campaigns and rallies, would say that, you know, we have an unfinished task which has to be fulfilled. The 100-day task which has been given to his ministers in the previous term also, it was very interesting, right? I remember even after the last phase of voting was over, he had 7 meetings talking about cyclone, heat wave, but one of those 7 meetings, Christine, was on the 100-day agenda, the report card. That was a confidence, but that was also his deep messaging which is going out even now and hence on, is that, you know, my focus is going to be on development, social development, but most importantly economic development, which is why the people who are going to be chose to head and in charge of the key infrastructural economic ministries are going to be very important, and that will give us a sense of how much he thinks that this is the team which needs to go ahead to fulfill this agenda, and thereby also sending out a message to the opposition that I'm not going to be a lame duck government, I'm not going to be a UPA 2.0, I'm going to be very much a person, a Prime Minister who's in control. That's also a rebuttal to this entire theory which is being pushed by the opposition ever since the results came out, that he should not be called the Prime Minister designate, he should be called the Prime Minister resignate, he doesn't have the mandate. He takes his own time to rebut and respond to opposition, but when he does, I guess he wants to do it this way, and I think that first messaging certainly has gone in from these pictures that we're seeing coming out.
Absolutely. And not to forget, these pictures have also highlighted for us some of the names that we perhaps missed out on. For example, Bhupendra Yadav, he can be seen in these visuals. We really didn't have a confirmation on whether or not he received a call and subsequently made it to the Prime Minister's residence. But keeping a sharp focus on these exclusive visuals of the Prime Minister interacting with some of the MPs, and remember, most of them are going to be taking oath alongside the Prime Minister as well. His message is to the MPs to implement the 100-day plan, what this plan is all about and what's going to be the key focus of the NDA through the next 100 days. That is, of course, something that we still have to watch out for. But the other big names that we perhaps missed earlier in the day, Bhupendra Yadav, there's also Virendra Kumar, there's SPS Baghel, there's L. Murugan. All of them can be seen in these visuals. We're closely zooming in these visuals. Ravinder Singh Bittu, like I said, a very interesting name. Now, when we talk about these names, when we talk about all of them who've assembled at the Prime Minister's residence, these visuals, of course, are from a little while earlier. Payal, you know, one is always left to wonder on what is it that the BJP thought, for example, when it decided to dial a K. Annamalai or Ravinder Singh Bittu. In your opinion, what are the factors that must have gone, you know, into play while these names were shortlisted by the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because these visuals make the story amply clear. Yes, there is a challenge that the BJP is looking at, but they're wanting to meet it with continuity, younger faces, those who've performed extremely well in Lok Sabha elections, and of course keeping caste factors in mind as well.
Well, of course, there's been a lot of confusion as far as Mr. Annamalai's name is concerned. But, we do understand that present in that meeting was another party mate of Mr. Annamalai from Tamil Nadu, and that's Mr. L. Murugan. Mr. L. Murugan served as a Minister of State in Information Broadcasting and Fisheries in the Narendra Modi 2.0 government that actually was expanded in 2021. He is, of course, a Dalit face. He's been somebody who's very, very popular as far as the Prime Minister is concerned. The Prime Minister is extremely fond of his simplicity, and it is evident from the fact that on 2 years, both on Tamil Nadu's New Year, etc., the Prime Minister and Pongal, the Prime Minister did go to his residence. And the message that he was trying to send to the people of Tamil Nadu is, we are giving your people representation. You mean a lot for us, and we will ensure that your culture is protected. And that's the reason amongst the outgoing Rajya Sabha members, if I remember correctly, beg your pardon, Murugan was the only one who got an extension of a full 6 years term. He in fact got the 6 year
Big news coming in. We're speaking of K. Annamalai, Payal. We're learning that he's not seen in these pictures, which means he was not at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, which means he's going to continue working in Tamil Nadu. And Pallavi is getting us that bit of information as well. Pallavi, you're telling us that K. Annamalai has now conveyed that he's going to continue working in Tamil Nadu, which means he's not going to be seen in the national capital, and he's not going to be seen as part of Modi 3.0. Now, what's really going on at that end? Many were saying that the fact that he's going to be brought to the center may mean a change of equations in Tamil Nadu as far as the AIDMK and the BJP is concerned. Doesn't look like that's happening.
Christine, I went very briefly to Coimbatore and where he's contesting the elections from. There's no denying the fact that he has brought a lot of traction. If you look away from despite the results which have come in of the BJP's performance in Tamil Nadu, there's no doubt about the fact at least people are talking about the BJP, and the BJP will certainly see that as an achievement. See, breaking a bastion like of the DMK or the AIDMK is not going to be an easy task. These things do take time, but somewhere you have to make a beginning. Perhaps that's what the BJP top leadership feels over here, that at least a beginning has been made. People are talking about the BJP. I saw, for example, when I used to cover Bengal politics as well, there was a time when the BJP would be there, no one would talk about them. But suddenly people began talking about them, and today you know where they are. So therefore, in politics, it's very important that you're spoken about, your presence is taken cognizance of. It's like a tick mark that you get. And I think that is going to be the work which is going to be bestowed on Annamalai. When we then asked him for a quote, he said, no, I'm very much going to remain in Tamil Nadu and I'm going to carry on my work. The next big challenge will be to ensure that the cadre remains enthused despite the lack of good performance over there. But more importantly, whenever the state elections are taking place, regardless of whether there's going to be an alliance with the AIADMK or what, the BJP would want to make their inroads. Down south is very much a part of Mission BJP, and that I think is going to be the responsibility on Annamalai.
Absolutely. Now, many would say that, the Tamil Nadu elections were more about AIDMK losing ground than the BJP failing to make gains, because the vote share has increased and the BJP is trying to look at that picture perhaps. But thank you for sharing that perspective with us. Keeping up with these visuals of the interaction that the Prime Minister held with some of the elected MPs and also those who are going to be making it to Modi 3.0 once again, those are the big names, the big faces up on your screens. Aman, like I said, all of those ministers of Modi 2.0 sitting right in the front, so they're in the front lane, and without any doubt, it's very, very convincing, at least by optics, if we just go by these visuals, that they're going to make it to 3.0 with as much force, and they're going to be given as much prominence as well in Modi 3.0. But that said, what do you make of these visuals and of the people who were seen at the Prime Minister's residence a little while earlier?
So I would say the new names which we are now seeing in these visuals, which we have not spoken about so far, Bhupendra Yadav. Again, I was saying earlier, a senior minister in the Modi government, also a face, of somebody with deep organizational acumen in the BJP. Mr. Bhupendra Yadav was the Union Environment Minister and the Labour Minister in the last government. He will be continuing in the Union Council of Ministers. We are seeing Mr. Jewel Oram. Again, a tribal face. He is being included into the Union Council of Ministers. Of course, Mr. Virendra Kumar from Madhya Pradesh, another tried and tested face from Madhya Pradesh. He was a Union Minister in the last government as well. He will be a Union Minister again this time. Mr. Virendra Kumar, SPS Baghel, the MP from Agra, who's won again. He is also becoming a minister. He was also a minister in the previous government. L. Murugan, as Payal was speaking about a few minutes earlier, also in the Union Council of Ministers. So big names there. And we can see in this list now in the front row, we can see Mr. Rajnath Singh, Nitin Gadkari, Amit Shah, Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Ashwini Vaishnav, Piyush Goyal can be seen, Mansukh Mandavia can be seen, Arjun Megwal, Shivraj Singh Chauhan can be seen in the front row. As I've been saying since morning, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan could get a very, very important portfolio in the Union Council of Ministers. There is Mr. Annamalai is missing, of course. Mr. Annamalai is not going to join the Union Council of Ministers. He's not there in this meeting as speculated otherwise earlier in the day. Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar is there very much prominently. Another important face. We should watch out for an important portfolio for Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar also. Both Mr. Khattar and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, two chief ministers from the states who were, removed as chief ministers, now joining the Union Council, will be bringing that administrative acumen of their state CM experience to the centre. Sarabanda Sonowal, another important face, was a former minister, is there this time as well. Kiran Rijiju as well, former minister, again a minister in this government. Rao Inderjit Singh, you can see in those pictures. Jitendra Singh, you can see in those pictures. Hardeep Puri, you can see. Giriraj Singh, you can see. Nityanand Rai can be seen there. So all these, Ravneet Singh Bittu, a face from Punjab who is lost from Ludhiana against the state Congress president Amrinder Raja Singh, Wading by a narrow margin, but being given the place in the Union Council. So two Sikh faces, Hardeep Singh Puri and Ravneet Singh Bittu, getting a look into the Union Council of Ministers, very, very significant. Shobha Karanjale, a senior BJP leader from Karnataka, we can see there. Jitin Prasad, Brahmin face from UP, we can see in those visuals there. Dharmendra Pradhan, we can see seated in the front row there. So it opens up the race for the Odisha CM also now, because Dharmendra Pradhan is joining the Union Council of Ministers. Obviously, a new face will be required for the Odisha Chief Ministerial face.
Aman, interestingly, this is where perhaps parties like Shiromani Akali Dal would want to relook or rethink into the fact that, the fact that they did not decide to go ahead with the BJP this election season may have come at a cost. Whether or not they're in that introspection mode, that also something that we need to watch out for. But that's most certainly a talking point today, given, like you just said, the kind of Sikh representation that we're witnessing in Modi 3.2 in all likelihood. But stay on with us. We'll come back to you in just a bit. Let's quickly take in a word from our guest joining us this afternoon. Now, we have Pranay Agarwal, political analyst with us. But my first question is to Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst with us on the broadcast. Mr. Syed Asad Abbas, many were saying, especially in the opposition, how is the BJP going to face this humongous task of accommodating its allies? The fact that it's 240 for the BJP, but the government is only being formed because of the contribution of the JDU and the TDP in this case. But look at the number that's come out, the faces that we're putting out on our screens. 80% of them are from the BJP. So the BJP has ensured that this turns out to be a smooth sailing affair for the party and the alliance at large.
The fact of the matter is, undoubtedly, BJP is the single largest party in the elections held. But the fact is, it is going to be tremendously challenging for a Narendra Modi ji, who is used to having all the absolute power and the might of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Look at 2014, look at 2019, where the Bharatiya Janata Party had an absolute resounding majority. But this time, this is going to be a supreme challenge to Modi ji to be able to function along with their allies. And let me tell you, India was a part of 2014 and 2019. But this time, the alliance does have an upper hand, because without which, Modi ji will not be able to smoothly run this government. So we need to understand that 20% is a good demarcation. But like they say in politics, ibtidai siyasat hai rota hai kya, aage aage dekh hota hai kya. Modi ji very well knows it is important for him to keep Nitish Kumar happy along with the Janata Dal United, and also Chandrababu Naidu with the Telugu Desam Party, who is a dark horse, who is there from the yesteryear's chief minister. So therefore, we need to understand that how Modi ji is going to take this alliance ahead is the real question here. Not just that. In fact, Nitish Kumar has asked a review on the Agniveer. Not just him, even Chirag Paswan, a close aide and ally of Modi ji from the Lok Jan Shakti Party, has also asked a review of Agniveer. So this is going to be very interesting, because previously we had
but nobody from the BJP shut the doors on a review for Agniveer scheme as well. We've seen everyone come out to say that we're going to, take in an opinion from all stakeholders concerned, the Indian Armed Forces, and then only will we go ahead with any decision or review that may take place. So they've not ruled out that possibility. And yes, the possibility of a challenge at the BJP in terms of a larger alliance may be a possibility in the future. So far, it's been a smooth sailing affair. Pranay, I'll come back to you in just a bit, heading to a very quick break. We'll be right back with lots more. Do stay tuned.